Thank you, Chairman. Let me pick up where Senator Graham left off. I wholeheartedly endorse his pressure on you to try to sort out within the administration whatever is blocking cooperation with the International Criminal Court needs to be corrected so that the administration is in compliance with the law that Congress passed. To me, it's as simple as that, and the sooner we can get that sorted out, I think the better. With respect to forfeitures, the law that we passed regarding transfers to Ukraine is now starting to flow. You've had at least one transfer from Kleptocrats to Ukraine. I appreciate that and commend you on that success. If there is more support that Kleptocrats, and particularly the Marshal Service that has to deal with these oligarch assets needs, will you be sure to let us know, particularly the really big shots right here who are appropriators as well? Dealing with a mega yacht is not a simple task, and dealing with assets of the magnitude that we are seizing, and frankly, with a good deal more to be seized, I think, what do we need to do? Question for the record, what do we need to do to step up and support the existing Klepto-capture effort? And with specific regard to one matter, administrative forfeiture proceedings against oligarch assets. If you're an American citizen, the Department of Justice can seize an asset of yours in essentially an in rem proceeding, in which it's United States versus shoebox full of $450,000. But that is only up to $500,000, and that authority stops. What we do not have is authority over $500,000 for these foreign oligarchs. So that puts you in the difficult position of having to parse through all of the multiple screens that they've used, the Cypriot bank accounts, the Cayman Islands shell corporations, to try to figure out who owns what. Whereas if you could proceed in rem and just have it be United States versus yacht, mega yacht, that cuts all that crap out, and it reverses the polarity, so it's now the true owner who has to show up and identify themselves. And as you know, and you've done this with botnets and other things like that, the true crooked owner usually does not show up because they would leave the proceedings in handcuffs. So I think you need that authority. Please make sure that the Department of Justice is supporting the bipartisan bill that would give you that authority against these over $500,000 oligarch assets. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, first, Senator, let me thank you for your incredible leadership on this issue and making sure we got the transfer authority that we have now to use to transfer to Ukraine. We absolutely want to work with you on this in rem idea. I think it could help us streamline matters as you suggest.
Well, it's not just an idea. It's how you actually operate right now with respect to American citizens for property under $500,000 in value, correct?
That's exactly right. But one thing I want to make clear, given the oligarchs that we are going after, given the Byzantine financial structures they are able to create, and the shell companies and the holding companies, and
it becomes all the more important, I think, to have this capability.
It does. However, I would say these are folks who are litigating through any means possible. So I think we will see litigation in these types of cases no matter what.
I get it.
And so we need to make sure we are producing a good factual record so we prevail in those proceedings. I've got all the faith in the world in our prosecutors, so we could use more of those resources. Yeah. So that's a plug right there.
A tip, say, from the captain of the boat could give you plenty of predication to proceed. So, well, my time is running out, so let me ask a couple more questions.
Sure.
Again, given the little time, these will be questions for the record. You are providing existing support to Prosecutor Costin. Is there more that we should be doing to support his criminal prosecution efforts?
Yes, in fact, we are. We just met earlier this week, as I mentioned. We are adding more resources to our work with Prosecutor General Costin. We're adding more FBI resources. We've just added a pledge.
Just keeping track of evidence is a pretty substantial proposition.
Absolutely, and helping prioritize which are going to be the most likely cases to move the most quickly.
So here's the last one I'll ask you. Again, question for the record. Two questions for the record. One, what is the department's position on what an international aggression tribunal should look like? What are you arguing for and why? And second, the Prosecutor General is going to have to deal with massive Ukrainian civil relief. And to accomplish that, I think he believes that he's going to have to set up a 9/11 type fund, that litigating one by one is just impossible. So you have to set up a fund and let people apply to it. The obvious place to fund that fund is with Russia's sovereign funds that we have now frozen. I think it's important for the department to let us on this committee know what you think the avenues are to deploy those sovereign funds to Ukrainian relief, under what terms or through what devices or with what caveats. And if we don't do that, how else does the relief fund for the Ukrainians who've lost their homes, lost their loved ones, for the civil damages that they're entitled to, how else does that get funded? And I've gone over, and I apologize to the chairman, but I appreciate your work and your answer to those questions.
Thank you, Senator.